guys, jumping into the video, I'm going in with my moisturizer. This is from Ulla Henderson. This has definitely become one of my favorites. Really nice on the skin. As far as foundation, I like to use Maybelline and Smashbox mixed together, and that kind of gives me my perfect winter shade. I'm not sure where the clip is as far as my primer, but I did use the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. For my foundation, I like to use the Morphe M439 brush. It really helps to blend out my foundation. Really nice and seamless. Then I like to go in with a beauty blender to just make sure there aren't any streaks. For concealer, I like to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is the new one, like the sculpting one. Do my little tribal signs, you know, Wakanda forever. I also like to add in the MAC 24-hour concealer. This just provides like the perfect under eye highlight for me. Then I like to, of course, blend that out. I have to kind of move my nose over sometimes because I got a Nigel Thornberry. Put down in the comments if you know what cartoon I'm talking about when I say Nigel Thornberry. Then I just go in and blend out my Cupid's bow and then my forehead. Moving on to contour, I like to cream contour and I use the Maybelline Stick Foundation. I just apply that to the hollows of my cheek and I apply that to my jawline. To blend that out, I like to use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I really like the way that this blends out my concealer. So like I said, I just blend that out. I'm blending for real, I know. So after I finish blending out that cream contour, little dance party, ooh, get it. Alright, back to the video. Then I just applied a little bit of that to my forehead and I'm just blending that out, making sure that my forehead contour meshes with my hollow contour. Then I use the MAC Studio Fix powder. And I got this from Makeup Shayla. I saw her do it and it looked bomb, so I was like, let me try it out for myself. So I just like to, of course, set where I put my concealer, so under my eyes, my Cupid's bow. And I only like to put very little on my forehead just because I don't want it to be a big, like, light spot in the middle of my forehead. Then to set that cream contour, I use the Black Radiance True Complexion. And I use that last shade, and then of course I just set that cream contour. Anything that you apply like with the liquid first, you need to go in and make sure you're setting it with the powder, just so it's not moving all over the place. You don't want to take all that time to do your makeup, then don't set it, and then it turns out, you know, looking kind of bad after an hour or so. Then I go on with Sister Sasha. Sasha is bae. And then I go in and just further set where I put that concealer. That just kind of adds a little bit more of the brightness that I like. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. I would really appreciate it. We have fun here. I would love to have you. To go ahead and contour my nose, I like to mix the shade in the middle and then that shade that I used before, just to go ahead and set that. And I don't like my nose contour to be really excuse me, defined, so I go through and just blend it out with the beauty blender. Then to set my entire face, I use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. And this is, I think, one of like my favorite steps because you really see just all of the makeup just mesh really well together. Then I use my Mario Badescu facial spray just to go ahead and get rid of that powdery look because I applied a lot of powder just then. Then I like to make sure that I set that spray in with the beauty blender. Now I'm going to go ahead and get these eyebrows together using the ABH Brow Pomade. First, I just like to go in and brush my eyebrows all in the same direction just to make sure those hairs are pointing in the same direction. And then I like to go in with the pomade. I like to start at the bottom, just kind of sketching where my natural brows are, and I just kind of follow that line. Then once I like that, I go up to the top and do the same thing. Another dance party. I know I'll be in here getting it. Pandora was rocking. You hear me? Alright, then I go in, and what I did to the first brow, I'm doing to the second one, just getting them all the way together. And eyebrows are supposed to be sisters and not twins, so once I feel like they kind of look kind of the same, I kind of move on. And to set them, I use the Benefits brow setter and then Tarte Shape Tape to clean them up. My eyebrows is looking good, so sharp they'll cut somebody. Then I use that same concealer just to use as my eyeshadow base. And as far as eyes, we're going to use the Makeup Shayla and Colourpop collaboration, the Perception palette. This is really affordable and I really like it. Going on with the Morphe 518 brush, I just use, I think that's Culture. Then I'm putting in my crease, and then I go in and do that to the other eye. I'm going in with the Morphe 433 brush, and I'm dipping into Revenge to go ahead and deepen up that crease. Then for the last brush, it's the Morphe 514 brush, and I'm dipping into one of the darker shades in the palette just to really deepen up my crease. Guys, my camera died and I don't really know where it cut off at, but I went ahead and finished my eyes, and I just put on mascara and eyeliner, and we'll get back to the rest of the video. Alright, so for highlight, I'm using Shayla. Again, this is the Pose highlight. And I'm using a really fluffy Morphe brush to just apply that. Bling, bling. Then I'm going in with the Juvias Place Saharan Volume 1 Blush Palette. I just like to mix those two together. And I smile slightly, and I just like to apply that blush right in the middle of my highlight and contour. To give my eyes a little bit of a pop, I go in and add some eyeshadow to my inner corner. For lips, I'm using the NYX Suede lip liner in the shade Cold Brew. And then I'm using another Shayla product from her collaboration with Colourpop as far as the lipstick and then the lip gloss. Now for hair, I'm giving you guys romantic curls. I like to use Flexi Rods just because it's easier. Like I can apply them at night with a little bit of setting, like a mousse or a setting lotion. And then when I wake up, like I unroll them and I'm popping, I'm good to go. So that's just me taking them out. I like to usually use 6 on each side. And I like to use a smaller one at the front just so my bangs are really, you know, shaping my face. Then I just go in and kind of brush my front out and mold it to how I want it to be.